On his deathbed, a billionaire handed a poor boy everything he owned, but the world accused the boy of tricking him. But this is the real story. It happened on an ordinary afternoon. A billionaire collapsed in the middle of a crowded street, gasping for air as people stood back, some frozen, some recording, none stepping forward. Except one boy. Leo, a 17-year-old with torn slippers and a school bag hanging by a thread, sprinted toward the stranger. He dropped to his knees, shaking the man's shoulders, begging him to stay awake. The old man's lips trembled as he struggled to whisper that his inhaler was in his pocket. Leo dug through the suit, grabbed the inhaler, and pressed it to the man's lips with hands that wouldn't stop trembling. One puff, then another, until the billionaire's breathing steadied. Leo stayed beside him in the ambulance, holding his hand all the way to the hospital. Days passed. Life returned to normal for Leo, running errands, helping his sick mother, making the best of a small life. He never expected to see the man again. But one evening, a black car stopped outside Leo's tiny home, and out stepped the same billionaire, weak, pale, and clearly dying, supported by two nurses. Leo panicked and rushed to sit him down, but the old man only smiled and that Leo had saved him. In every way a man could be saved. Inside Leo's dim, lantern-lit room, the billionaire spoke He confessed he had lived his whole life alone. No children, no wife, no one who cared whether he lived or died. Until Leo. Leo insisted he wasn't special, but the old man shook his head. He said Leo gave him something money could never buy, someone who actually cared. As the illness worsened, the billionaire was taken back to the hospital. Leo visited every day. One night, when the machines around his bed hummed softly, the old man asked to speak with him alone. He admitted something that shattered Leo. He had hired investigators to follow him, to watch him, because he feared Leo only helped him out of greed. Leo stepped back, hurt, betrayed. But then the old man broke down in tears. He said he didn't trust the world, not Leo. And day after day, Leo proved him wrong simply by showing up. Not for money, not for fame, but because he cared. With trembling hands, the billionaire placed a sealed envelope in Leo's palm. He said it wasn't a gift, but an apology. Inside that envelope was everything he owned, his companies, his properties, his entire life's work, all entrusted to the boy who had restored his faith in humanity. Moments later, his hand slipped away, and the room fell silent. After his death, chaos erupted. Lawyers questioned Leo. News stations called him a thief. The world doubted him. But then video footage surfaced. The moment Leo ran through the crowd without hesitation, dropping everything to save a stranger no one else would touch. The world finally understood the truth. Kindness wasn't Leo's strategy. Kindness was simply who he was. And in the end, the lesson became clear. You don't have to know someone to save them. You don't need to share their blood to share their pain. Sometimes, the greatest blessings come from kindness we give quietly, thinking no one sees.